Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends of all ages and creeds. We are back with the Cataclysm on Unfair. Mechs are on screen with Camilla Vera with Conservative and the Light Tank in the Pitcher Mech. A very powerful combination. We've got Prospero in the Triptych Mech. He is able to fly, which is handy and dandy. And then finally, a starting pilot Celestine in the Drill Mech with fully upgraded damage, and we have Ralph Carlson on the bench. So we are on to our third island. At this point in the run, things were going pretty okay, and we are considering our next options here. We've got Archive and Detritus. Detritus was looking real nasty, and I could have tried to tackle it now, but I decided that I wanted to try and attempt it with as much upgrades as I could. Also, the fact that we have Camilla Vera means I'm less concerned about running into things like the Mosquito Leader, if it comes to that. So the main issue here on Archive is going to be bouncers. The Drill Mech has problems dealing with bouncers. And then we've also got blobbers. So, you know, Hornets. It's a decent little mix of trouble. I like to go for the Tidal Wave mission first, as it is usually pretty short. We do have the added wrinkle of needing to knock mites off the mechs. And this is also a pretty intimidating op-4 here at the beginning. The two beetles are far away from the water, and the Hornets will not care about the encroaching tidal waves. So we're going to have our work cut out for us here. At the very least, we can ignore the blobber on this round. But both of the Hornets are a problem, and we've got to do something about these beetles. Make an interesting choice here to body block with the Triptych Mech. Thankfully, Prospero has +2 bonus HP. And then that'll knock the mites off of it, and then the Triptych Mech can shoot that beetle, and it will run into the water of its own accord. And then I'm going to, with both my other two mechs, we're going to foil the Hornets' attacks while also suffering self-damage. It's a little bit risky, but it will knock all of the mites off of us, so we don't have to worry about it for the remainder of the mission. As we will see, though, I perhaps will regret this decision in the near future. But with all the mites taken care of, it is just a matter now of surviving the fight and trying to minimize as much grid damage as we can. But we've still got problems here. Our main issue on this turn is that the Drill Mech is way out of position. In my attempt to get fancy by spinning that Hornet around on the first turn, the Drill Mech is now far away from the enemy and has minimal options to impact the board. That was a misplay on my part. And then I decide to body block the Beetle's attack with the Drill Mech. This will disable the Drill Mech, but the pilot will survive since the pilot has invulnerable. This is still an interesting choice I make, let's say. I think I am going to commit to this weird little goof, since there was nothing else very much that the Drill Mech could contribute here. We also have not taken the time to deploy the tanks. That maybe would have been a better use of my time. on the first round. And the last turn here will be a 5v2, which is a real bad position to be in. The one small consolidation we have is that the Beetle is doomed and the Scorpion is too far away to impact the board, but we've got 3 dang Alpha Hornets to deal with, and only 2 mechs to do something about it. So I think without better options, we're going to be giving up 2 grid health to that Hornet. I'd say overall this was probably a misplay. If I could do it over again, I think the drill mech would have been better off staying closer to the shoreline, and then it would have been, it would have had more health, it would have been in a better position. And I also probably could have deployed a tank on the first turn, I'm not sure. So the only silver lining is that we are getting our 2 lost grid health right back. But not the greatest start to Archive here. I've been alluding in this series to how this run starts to steadily decline for the Cataclysm. All of the weaknesses I've talked about that this squad has, they only get exacerbated the later in the run you get on unfair difficulty, just because of the sheer number of Alpha Vec you're facing, the high amounts of HP. It just means you are really going to struggle to be cracking tiles with the drill mech, so you've got to try and focus on other things. The pitcher mech is good for deploying tanks, the triptych mech is just a generally solid unit. It's the drill mech now that is struggling. And if you can find a decent backup weapon, either a science class weapon or a any class weapon to put on the drill mech, it's probably a good idea. But I have been avoiding doing that. I've mostly been investing in power cores. I have this idea where I try to highlight the inherent strengths of the squad as best I can. The one glaring exception being in this series when I did the Rusting Hulks, and I transformed the rocket mech into a horrible laser cannon. Anyway, the next mission I choose is a real dicey one. I really don't like these use the repair platforms missions. This mission, all of your mechs start at 1 HP, and you have the goal of stopping movement on these little green tiles. They will fully heal your mech. The only problem is the enemy can step on them too. Things get further complicated by the arrival of a time pod, and also, we have to kill 7 enemies. I really don't know what I was smoking here. Do I really expect to kill 5 Alpha Vec with low damage weapons? We can do a nice 2-for-1 here with the pitcher, the triptych mech, destroying a bomb and getting that Hornet out of the way. Then my other boys have some other issues. So we can fully heal pitcher mech. It's going to take a nasty hit, but then it'll get pushed right into another repair platform. So that cancels it out. And then the best I can do about that other beetle is just block it from attacking the grid. I was also curious to see if a light tank stepping on a repair platform counted, and it does not. Or wait, did it? I think it did. Okay, so yeah, that was worth it. I will confirm on my next editing pass. So next turn is still a 5v3. We have not really killed anything. We've just prevented a spawn is all. And that beetle over on the western side of the map is going to be just a huge pain the entire mission. It just wants to destroy that building so badly. I don't know what that building did to it. If only we had a little bit more speed in the pitcher mech. Actually, maybe that was a bit of a misplay. I could have fired Triptych Mech to push the Hornet bomb and the Pitcher Mech, and then the Pitcher Mech could have just moved in and tanked on its own. I think that would have been a better call. Instead, I'm going to have to waste my second tank doing the exact same thing I did last time. And that's a kind of poor use of my resources. I guess if I would have taken 1 damage from the Triptych Mech push, then the Beetle's attack would have killed the Pitcher Mech. So, doing the best I can. We are down to 4v3. At least we've gotten all the repair platforms out of the way, but we have only killed a single enemy, and we've only got 2 turns left. This is, I think we're guaranteed to fail at this point. Unless we kill every single enemy and every enemy that's about to emerge from the spawn holes. So, rip this run. Or at least rip this perfect island reward. Now, we've softened up some of these boys enough that we can finally start getting some kills, but then we've got this nasty catch-22. I elect to just get rid of the Blobber Bomb, as that will save 1 grid building. And I'm not even sure there was much the Pitcher Mech could have done to stop the Beetle. So finally that Beetle gets its way. Are you happy, Beetle? You finally destroyed that building. Here on the last turn, we just have to address 2 threats to the grid. But I was feeling a little bit miffed here. Archive was not going great. I think it's just the fact that we are, we're just lacking in damage output. And there's not a lot I can do about it. Where were these, non-alpha Scorpions at the beginning of the mission? We could have killed them right away with the drill mech, started cracking tiles, blah yada yada. But it was not to be. I have to take my consolation prize here with a power core. The other missions available to me were not looking great. That 1 rep mission on Archivist Hall probably was fine, but the kill 6 or fewer enemies was probably dicey. And the sad news was that the mission we just did was essentially mandatory. We have to do 4 missions before the boss fight. I suppose we could have maybe worked around it, skipped it by doing the pasture, and then done Renovation Complex. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, as they say. This mission, we have to have 8 spaces on fire. This looked like a somewhat more, better map seed. We've got lots of water tiles to hopefully be pushing the enemy into. We'll see how that shakes out. But again, all alphas means the drill mech is incapable of killing anything on the first turn. Unless we have the drill mech crack blobber bombs. But that may or may not be the best use of its time. So we've just got 2 threats to the grid here on this first turn, which is nice. We should take advantage of this to cause as much damage as we can. We're going to just push that bomb out of the way and leave it alone, as it will light 2 tiles on fire for us, which is nice. And we can have the Scorpion also light that blobber on fire and cause some general disarray. And then even if we're going to do a little bit of friendly fire, it's nice to start lighting more tiles on fire, and we will doom one of the beetles. So things are going decently here. All of the enemies on the field will largely be pretty weakened, except for the beetle on D2. It's interesting that the Scorpion did not elect to attack the drill mech there. I wonder if it didn't want to get bump damage from the Beetle's attack. That was unusual. This would be a good opportunity for Prospero to get some serious XP. But instead, I'm going to let the Beetle kill the Scorpion for us, as that will then wind up blocking a spawn. This seems also to be a good opportunity to deploy my last tank. So the next turn will be a 2v5, my favor. It's a pretty good position to be in. We just need to light 2 more tiles on fire. Next time I play Cataclysm, I should remember that even with their low damage, lighting things on fire like this is a good way to kind of enhance their offensive output. I'm a little hesitant to block those spawns as those tiles are on fire. I didn't want to mess with the math too much, since we do need to finish this mission objective, get that rep as much as possible. I figure we can handle a couple of bouncers into Scorpion. And we'll call that one GG. That was probably the smoothest mission we've had so far on Archive. So I believe we've got, is it just one mission left to go before the boss fight? I was happy to see Harold Schmidt with +1 reactor. That's a nice little treat. Ah, I see. Skipping ahead a little bit, we leave Celestine in the drill mech for now because they just need 1 more XP to get their final skill. So we are delaying Harold. And for the final mission before the boss fight, we have a Destroy the Dam mission with a bonus power core. And since we're not going to be getting a perfect island reward, we want to try and maximize those power cores as best we can. I'm not happy to see a pair of Hornets here, which means we're probably not going to be getting maximum value out of destroying the dam. But we're going to have to just take a chance. My blobber baiting formation was successful. On most of these other maps, we didn't have very good options for blobber baiting. But really, things shook out as well as they possibly could for the dam. We can deep 6 all of the ground pounders. Celestine gets their final level up, which is Adrenaline. That's fine. That just means it's time to replace Celestine with Harold for the next mission. Easy peasy. We can have a light tank in the back kind of doing just general assistance work for us. The presence of the regen scion is a little bit irritating, but we can at least get that Hornet in drill slaying range, in theory. But instead, I think I'm going to be setting up the Hornets to bully one another. And Camilla is in a good position to just start blocking spawns. So it's the second to last turn, and it's a 2v5 our favor, so things are in, we might call it lockdown here. I could have blocked the spawn with the Triptych Mech and then probably handled the Hornet with the tank, but this is fine. If the emerging Vec are land-bound, then they will just be stuck on the other side of the river. And of course we get another Alpha Hornet. Of course. Why would anything nice happen? At the very least, we can get a little bit of XP for our pilots. And we'll be on to the boss fight, which is the Tumblebug leader. A little bit disconcerting. However, I was optimistic because we have the light tanks. They can do a non-damaging push, which is good for handling the unstable boulders, as long as I'm careful. So it's time to get Herald in on the action. Maxing out the drill mech, as it were. Then I believe I'm going to go for the range upgrade on the pitcher mech, just as an option. Ah, no. We're going to go for tankiness on the Triptych mech. Interesting. Okay. Perhaps I was concerned about taking chip damage from exploding boulders all willy-nilly. So at the very least, we don't have Hornets to deal with, but we've got a pair of Beetles, a Blobber, a Bouncer, and the dreaded Tumblebug leader. I am attempting to bait the Tumblebug leader with my my mechs deployed in this way. I'm not sure I am successful, though. If that Beetle wasn't there, maybe. So we have 4 threats to the grid and 3 actions to do something about it. So we can save 2 grid health with that throw. We can do a 2-for-1, but that was a little bit of a misplay here, because if the drill mech can flip the direction of the middle beetle, then those 3 will be taken care of. That just means we're going to be giving up 1 grid health to a blobber bomb. but I decided that this was a pretty decent trade. We also keep the Tumblebug Leader on the far side of the map, preventing a spawn, getting that consistent chip damage down. And thankfully, Herald has the HP upgrade, so he can survive getting smacked by the Alpha Beetle. I think we've given up something like 4 grid health over the course of this island. It's been pretty brutal. So we've only got 3 threats to the grid this turn. We can ignore the Tumblebug Leader if necessary. Prospero gets his level up and gets skilled. This was very interesting because I was not under the impression that if you got +1 move or +2 HP that you could roll skilled, but I was proven wrong here. So Prospero has skilled and +2 HP, so he's got +4 HP and +1 movement. That's a pretty potent Prospero right there. And that's also some really nice alliteration. Once again, we have 2 threats to the grid. We can ignore the Beetle if need be. Herald can get the kill shot on the Tumblebug Leader. Mission accomplished. Now we're just playing damage control. Yes, that Triptych mech currently has 8 HP, which is absurd. And since we still have a tank handy, we can just do a total spawn block lockdown. Final turn will be a 2v5 in our favor. So that should be the end for Archive. A little bit rough, but trust me, things are about to get even worse. Compared to what awaits me on Detritus, this was a mild inconvenience. But CTP, you might say. You've got a really nice rolled pilots here, you've got Herald. What could possibly go wrong? And the answer to that is, everything. Mission accomplished. No perfect island reward, sadly. But you know what? We got Herald. And we will be ending with 8 reputation, which is a nice little sum. So we've got shield array, bomb dispenser, quickfire rockets, and the guided missile. I was definitely feeling like it was past time that I got a backup weapon for the drill mech, and I see we've got the shield array, which is a science class weapon. It's a weird one. It creates a large area of effect that covers everything in range with a shield, be it friendly or foe. A little bit of a strange one. I don't often mess with it that much, but I was like, you know, we just need options here. The drill mech is struggling. I'm still, at this point, not sure that this was the best call. I could have sold one of my benched pilots and just invested in more power cores, as I do not wind up using the shield array terribly often in the future, as you will see. And if you are not sure you will see, you can always hit the notification bell and subscribe to get that quick update on these rooting-tooting developments. Hindsight being what it was, maybe I should have gone for the bombling dispenser for the triptych mech. But considering we really don't need to have the health upgrade on the triptych mech right now, I'm in a position to maybe just invest in the damage upgrade for the tri-rockets. Ah, yes. So I'm leaning on the skilled upgrade. Oh, I invest in both. Fascinating. Okay. So this is where things are getting weird. Spoiler alert, ladies and gentlemen. This was not the best decision. But we will see soon enough where my follies lie. Anyway, have a delightful rest of your Friday and have a good weekend, and I'll see you guys in the future.